Let's start with a question I've been asked more than once. What would convince you that God is real? And to be honest, it's a good question. It forces me to stop and ask myself, is there anything that would truly change my mind? Or am I just as dogmatic in my disbelief as some are in their faith? I've thought about that question a lot. And here's the truth. I don't know what would convince me. But if God is real, and if He knows me better than I know myself, then He would know exactly what it would take to reach me. But for whatever reason, He has chosen not to do that. That said, I don't want to use that as a cop-out. So I've been asking myself, what would actually convince me? What could I witness that would make me say, okay, I was wrong. Something divine is happening here. And you know what? I have an answer now. And it comes straight out of the Bible. In the Gospel of John, Jesus makes a bold promise. John 14:12. Truly, truly I say to you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do. And greater works than these will he do, because I am going to the Father. Greater works, not equal, greater. And what were those works? Healing the blind, making the lame walk, raising the dead. Matthew 11:5 quotes Jesus saying, "The blind receive sight, the lame walk. Those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor." That's the list. That's what He did. That's what He said believers would do too. He didn't stop there. Mark 16:17-18 says, "These signs will accompany those who believe. In my name they will drive out demons. They will place their hands on sick people, and they will get well." Not maybe, not spiritually, they will get well. Matthew 10:1 says Jesus gave His disciples authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. And then in verse 8, He commands them to heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Jesus wasn't vague about this. He said believers, not just apostles, not just a chosen few. Believers would do the same miracles He did, and more. So, here's what would convince me. Take me to a children's hospital. Let me walk in and pray over a child in Jesus' name, and let that child get up, healed, completely, instantly. No surgery, no meds, just healing. The kind Jesus did, the kind His followers are supposedly empowered to do. If that happened, I'd believe. Right there, on the spot. And if it worked once, I'd stay. I'd go room by room, heal every child, and I wouldn't leave until every hallway was empty, because that's what a good person would do. That's what someone with the power of God should do. But that's not happening. Christians aren't emptying out hospitals. They're not raising the dead. They're not healing amputees or ending pandemics. They're holding prayer circles, while doctors and nurses, secular ones, do the actual work of saving lives. And then, if the patient survives, the believers thank God. But when they die, it was God's will. That's not power. That's rationalization. Because if God is real, and if Jesus' promises are true, then where are the miracles? Not metaphorical miracles, real ones. Where are the people walking into children's hospitals and healing the sick, just like Jesus said they would? If you believe, and Jesus said that's all it takes, then why aren't you doing what He promised? John 14:13-14 goes even further. "Whatever you ask in my name, this I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it." Anything. In His name. So here's my challenge to every Christian who asks me what would convince me. Go. Do what your Savior said you could do. Walk into a hospital and heal the children. Not with doctors, not with medicine. Just prayer, just belief, just the power your God promised you. Jesus said you could, so prove Him right. Because if you can do this and don't, you're monstrous. And if you can't, then maybe your book is lying. Or worse, maybe your God isn't real. And that's the real issue. Either God doesn't keep His promises, or He never made them in the first place. Thanks for watching. See you next time.